In this video, I'm going to show you the actual letter that was written, as well as what kind of looks to me like the worst scripted apology I've ever seen. Let's go.
We're sorry if that has taken place.
We support victims.
The first thing I want to tell you is to watch what they look like. These are millionaires. Millionaires don't generally make a video that's going to go worldwide and go viral to millions of people when they're wearing scrubby, dirty clothes. They're going to show up in t-shirts. They're going to be up against a faded, maybe a reclaimed wood background. It looks kind of like the outside of a barn. They're looking for pity from you. This is very clearly scripted. It's very clearly staged, every bit of this. Ashton is showing up with a 5 o'clock shadow. She's showing up with hardly any makeup, and they're wearing beat up t-shirts. Millionaires don't do this when they're trying to put their best foot forward. So understand before you see 1 second of this, they're trying to elicit pity from you so that you will feel poorly for them, because they truly made a huge mistake.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
This first clip, I'm going to run it again. I want you to notice the distancing language that Ashton Kutcher is using. He uses his eyes to divert all attention. He looks away from the camera. He looks down. He looks away. He's completely trying to distance himself and his wife from what's happened. He's talking about it being the problem of or the fault of the letter, and he's also not making eye contact. So check this out.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
In this next clip, she says we support victims. I believe that they do. But watch what Ashton is doing. He is swallowing and grimacing. And his glabella, that is the muscle right here in your forehead that draws your eyebrows together. That happens when you are stressed out. It is going berserk.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
So if we look here, watch how many times he grimaces, he swallows, and he smashes his lips together. Look at this, 4 times. I believe it's 8 total, but it's just over and over. As she is talking, he is grimacing. He is unhappy with this situation. Notice the glabella. This is the part of the forehead that draws together when there's great concern. And also where he's smashing his lips together. And if you've been paying attention on this channel, you're learning that when you press your lips together, when you compress your lips, it's because you're withholding something you want to say, or you're simply just trying to guard your tongue. So with his grimacing and the glabella kind of coming together and pulling his eyebrows together, he looks very concerned and he's swallowing at the same time. This is what happens under great stress. Now understand, they have found themselves the center of the cancel culture that's coming for them. I don't think they ever saw this coming. You're going to see why in just a minute. Let's keep going. In this next clip, you're going to see him talk about that Danny's family reached out to them to see if they would write a letter. Watch what her mouth does the whole time he's talking. She is mouth grooming, she's lip licking. This means she is stressed. She doesn't like that people know that they've been in contact with somebody who has now been actually convicted of this horrible crime, and she doesn't know what to do with it, so part of that is grooming. So watch her mouth.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters.
All right, guys, this is the actual letter that they wrote. I'll pause it here for just a minute if you want to blow up your screen, but not for very long. Then I'll just kind of scroll through it. You can find all this online. Just do a Google search and look for the Ashton Kutcher sort of apology letter, and you will run into this. So I just wanted you to be able to see it. Here it is. Watch his hand in the very next clip. It's going to go up by his chest, and he's going to realize, I cannot do one of these because that's going to make it look like I have a really strong connection with this man. So he actually mistakenly pulls his hand up and then stops it without touching his chest as he's talking about his relationship with Danny, the guy that they used to know before, of course, all these things happened.
To represent the person that we knew for 25 years.
See, look at this. Watch his hand. I'll run it back. It never touches his shirt. Watch this. It never touches his shirt. This is an emotional reaction. He does have a relationship for many decades with this man, and out of actually not even thinking about it, he simply raises his hand up to go, you know what, this is really hard. But he realizes when he does it, if I start touching my body, touching my heart specifically, it's going to look as though I'm very connected to this person, and right now I am very uncomfortable and I don't want to be connected to him. So this is why you'll see him pull his hand up and then stop and not actually touch his body. He was clearly coached about this. This whole thing, trust me, this whole thing is scripted heavily. Watch how they go back and forth. They throw it back and forth to each other. She'll say her piece, he'll say his piece, back and forth. But part of this coaching that they clearly got, I don't know who wrote the script, but it's clearly scripted. And there's lots of words that are going to be used here in the next 30 seconds that are not words that either of them normally use. But either way, this is clearly scripted, and he made a mistake by pulling his hand up. Now in this next clip, watch her do a double shoulder shrug. When you do a double shoulder shrug, normally it means that you literally don't know why this is happening. And another reason you can tell this part specifically is scripted is because she's going to use words that neither of them ever used. Legitimacy, validity, these are not things that these people generally use. I've seen many videos of both of these. They're very much, hey man, what's up, bro? It's more of that thing, not legitimacy and validity and things like this. So watch these words come out, but also keep an eye on those shoulders that go up, because she truly doesn't know what to do with this, but she's trying to make her point.
So that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
This one will show the crux of this whole thing. This is where the rubber meets the road. He's going to look and say, this letter was never meant for anyone to see or to read, only for the judge to read. And then they're going to look at each other. This is very scripted to bring forward what's called a united front, so that everybody is aware, look, we did this of good conscience, of good faith, for a family, of a friend, but we never intended anyone to see this outside of the judge. They did not intend ever for this to be leaked. They did not intend for this to go public. And they did not intend even for the jury to hear about this. This is not something that sits well with them.
They were intended for the judge to read.
This last clip, they're going to be very honest, and you can see it in her face. She's going to close her eyes as she talks about that her hearts go out to anybody who's dealt with sexual abuse or sexual violence. She does not want to open her eyes and look at the camera for this. She'll close her eyes, and then to avoid the camera, she will look up as she continues to talk. And then as she's continuing to say the words that make her very uncomfortable, her blink rate will go through the roof. Her eyes will blink really quickly. I want you to watch this. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, if you blink slowly during a conversation, you're completely comfortable. But if you start to get to something you're very uncomfortable with, you'll blink faster, and you'll look around and you'll blink faster. The more quickly you blink, the more stressed out you are.
And not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse.
So it was a very short video. They only spoke for a little over a minute. But I'm hoping that you got something out of the body language here. It's very important that we get to know how to read people. Do me a favor, click on one of these videos over here that's going to come up in just a second. There's lots more body language, lots more psychology on this channel. Check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.